Ever felt the presence of something unexplainable? Stay tuned to uncover chilling tales from others who have.
Christmas Eve in the dorms is a peculiar experience. The hallways, usually buzzing with laughter and footsteps, fall into an unsettling silence. Most students leave to celebrate with their families, but this year I stayed behind. Deadlines loomed, and I told myself I needed the quiet to finish a major project. Emma, my best friend and dorm mate, stayed back too. She claimed her family wasn't celebrating this year, but I could tell there was more to her decision. I'd noticed her growing quieter over the past few weeks, her once bright energy fading into something heavier. She brushed off my concerns with a smile that didn't quite reach her eyes, and I, buried under work, let it go. Looking back, I wish I'd pushed harder, asked the questions I was too afraid to ask. That night, I fell asleep at my desk. Surrounded by books and the faint glow of Christmas lights, I'd strung up in an attempt to bring some cheer to the dreary room. Midnight came, marked by the distant chime of the campus bell tower. The sound faded, and I might have slept through the night if it weren't for the knock. It was soft, almost hesitant, yet it jolted me awake. Groggy and disoriented, I glanced at the door. At first I thought I'd imagined it, but then I heard it again. A quiet, deliberate knock. I stumbled to the door, expecting to find Emma or maybe a misplaced delivery, but when I opened it, no one was there. I leaned out into the hallway, but it was empty. The silence felt unnatural, the kind that makes your skin crawl. As I turned back into the room, I froze. Standing by my window was a woman I didn't recognize. She was young, maybe in her early 20s, dressed in a simple vintage-style dress that seemed out of place. Her pale face was framed by long, dark hair and her eyes. Her eyes held an expression of sorrow so deep it made my chest tighten. I should have screamed or demanded to know who she was, but I couldn't move, let alone speak. Then slowly she raised her hand and pointed, not at me, but toward Emma's room. Her gesture was urgent, almost pleading, and then, just like that, she was gone. For a moment I stood there, heart pounding, my mind racing to make sense of what I'd just seen. Was I dreaming? Hallucinating? But her expression, so filled with desperation, shook me out of my paralysis. I rushed to Emma's door and called her name. No answer. A knot of dread twisted in my stomach. I banged harder, but still nothing. My hands shook as I turned the knob, finding it unlocked. I pushed the door open and froze. Emma was sitting on the edge of her bed, her face streaked with tears. In her lap was a small box of pills, and beside her was a crumpled note. I don't remember moving, but the next thing I knew I was kneeling in front of her, wrapping her in my arms. "Emma," I whispered, my voice trembling. "Please, talk to me. What's going on?" Her sobs broke my heart. Between gasps, she told me how overwhelmed and alone she'd felt, how the holiday cheer around her only made her pain worse. With everyone gone for Christmas, she believed no one would notice if she disappeared. I held her tighter, whispering everything I could think of to remind her how much she meant to me and to so many others. Slowly, her breathing steadied and the pills fell from her grasp. We sat like that for hours, the glow of the Christmas lights casting a soft warmth over the room. When Emma finally fell asleep, I went back to my room, emotionally drained but relieved. As I sat on my bed, I glanced toward the window, half expecting to see the mysterious woman again. Instead, I noticed something on my desk that hadn't been there before, a faded black and white photograph. It showed a group of students in Christmas sweaters, laughing and huddled together. One face stood out, the woman who had appeared in my room. My hands trembled as I turned the photo over. On the back, written in delicate looping handwriting, were the words, "I wasn't saved, but you saved her. That's the greatest gift you can give." Tears welled in my eyes as I held the photo close. That Christmas morning, Emma and I decorated the dorm common area with whatever we could find, paper snowflakes, leftover ornaments, and some borrowed lights. We made hot cocoa, laughed, and talked about everything and nothing, creating a space filled with warmth and hope. Every year after that, I kept the photo on my desk as a reminder of the night a ghost brought a Christmas miracle, a life saved and a heart healed. If this chilling tale gave you goosebumps, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more stories like this. Thank you for tuning in to Ghostly Echoes. Until next time,